All right. No, hold on. I'm trying to figure something out real quick. Just give me a second.
You got pots?
All right. Say something, Josh.
Something, Josh.
All right, we're live.
Oh my god.
Sorry, everybody.
Technical issues.
That's okay. Hey, listen, we're back. We're back for another episode here of Metalhead's Journey. Look, we have a bunch of new subscribers right now, so hopefully you're checking in here and you're following along with some of our music stuff. If you liked our Megadeth reaction video, and it seems like a lot of you have, and a lot of you gone back and checked out our first episode of Megadeth's Metalhead's Journey. This is something pretty similar. It's just going to be us going through the top 50 metal albums of all time, and right now we're going through albums 40 through 36. So give us a second here. We'll get started with the podcast part of it, and we'll get into the list.
Yes, sir.
Do this.
Hello, and welcome to Three Guys and a Mic presents A Metalhead's Journey, the top 50 metal albums of all time, albums 40 through 36. I'm your co-host, The Human Dart, along with
Jason Tsunami.
David Disaster.
Adrian Aftershock.
We made it.
One
Back.
shot.
You know,
6 or 7 weeks later.
Guys, you know what occurred to me? We could have put ourselves on this list, but we would have had to have had the top 69 greatest metal albums of all time.
Yeah, what was going to be the name of our first album?
I have no idea. I'm going to be honest.
Did we ever have a name for it? Was it going to be, were we just going to go with Resistance is Futile?
Or Harmacy.
Pharmacy? That's still a classic.
Kremlin's Gremlins.
Well, hey, you know what? Unfortunately, we were only the 69th greatest metal band, and we didn't make the list. We're here going on with our list of the top 50 metal albums of all time. We've made it to albums 40 through 36. This is another eclectic mix of albums. I think overall, most of these albums were pretty good. I felt like most of these were pretty well received, at least by me. What'd you guys think?
I agree.
I disagree. I really liked two of them, and the other three I likely will never listen to again.
All right.
Adrian?
I was really shocked at one that I think is an absolute fucking banger. One I was more familiar with, hadn't gotten back to it in a long time, and when I got back to it, it was okay. I was actually pretty surprised at how much I liked Motorhead and King Diamond, but I think this was a pretty interesting set of 5.
Yeah.
So, I would say that this is the first set of 5 where I actually liked a song on every album.
Okay.
That's a step.
All right, well, hey,
that's a step up.
We're winning.
Right direction.
Hopefully, we do more black metal. You can like it more.
Yeah. I can't wait till they do the next Venom album.
So just to, I don't think we're doing another Venom record. So just to introduce us now, as we go through these albums, we're going to rate each album based on our enjoyment of it. And we like to refer to things as shit here on Three Guys and a Mic. And so we decided we needed to kind of create our own proprietary rating system. And we did. It's called the Shit-O-Meter. And the name of the game here is you want the lowest score possible. You want to be anything from a 49 down to really you want to be a 0. That's like pristine. You would eat a hot dog that you dropped in your toilet kind of clean, okay?
Yeah.
It's the cream of the crop.
That's right. Base is the place. If it's anything 50 to 100, it's varying levels of absolute terrible dog shit.
Yeah.
Do not recommend you listen to it.
Yeah, and if you don't have any time for that type of tomfoolery, then we'll also give you like a tier score rating, like S, A, B, C, D, F, for those that don't want the silliness.
As we get there, so all right, well let's jump right in here.
Let's do it.
So with the 40th album on the list, we have Halloween, and this is the first of their 2-part album, Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 1. Halloween is a German power metal band founded in Hamburg in 1984. Halloween has been referred to as the fathers of power metal and are considered one of the big 4 of power metal. Marcus Grosskopf and Michael Weikath are the only original members still in the band today. Helloween has 16 studio albums, including their latest release, Halloween, that was released in 2021. They also released a new single in 2022. They've sold over 10 million records worldwide. Whoa. Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 1, released in 1987. It's the second album from the band. It marks the first appearance of vocalist Michael Kiske, and is considered the album that created the genre of Euro-style power metal. This album featured one single, and it's the absolute worst song on the record, Future World.
Oh, God, you are right. Jesus Christ.
I know. It's funny how that often happens. All right, shit-o-meter scores. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first since nobody's jumping at it. Side hustle here. Josh and I do a sister show to this, I guess you can call it, the Half Hour of Power. And I really love power metal. I've learned that I've really loved power metal, and I was excited to dive into this one. I'm going to come in at a 19 on this album.
Ooh. That's strong.
I really liked it.
That's a good score.
Great album.
This was, I'll go next. This was like a slow burner for me. I don't know. Like the first listen, I was not blown away. And we've been listening to a shitload of power metal, so I don't know if it's just been like, I wouldn't say it's overload, but it's a little different than some of the other power metal we've been listening to. I mean, very different from Ed Guy, Sonata Arctica, things like that. But on subsequent listens, as I got into like 3 and 4 listens, this album really started to flourish for me. And I feel like with time, this score is definitely going to get better. But for now, I'm going to put this in at a 27.
7. Adrian, go ahead.
Sure. So I fucking hate power metal. It's interesting that you say two things, Josh. You said was one, that this album birthed power metal, but how come no one actually tried to make music like this? I mean, what happened? What happened?
Well, there's Halloween. You have 16 Halloween records.
Because this is actually fucking good. Well, you said this was the album, right?
Yeah, this was the album credited with creating Euro-style power metal.
Okay. Well, I give this a 25. I thought it fucking ruled. I think it's fucking phenomenal. And, Future World's a skipper, but it's probably the worst, the worst power metal song I've ever heard.
Like, for clarity, I agree that Future World is the worst song, but I don't skip it. I think the song is totally fine. Like, it's not awful.
Nah, that's a skipper for me.
Yeah.
Jason?
I thought this was a really good album. There's quite a few songs that are not skippers. The only skipper that I actually have is Future World. It's terrible. That song is just god awful. If it wasn't for that song, this would probably be my highest scoring metal album. But with that song included, because it has to be, I gave this album a 37.
Damn, that's pretty high. I think this is Chris Jericho. That's his favorite. This is his favorite album.
This is his favorite. Yeah. Yep. So what you're saying is this is only 1 point better than Venom.
Yeah, that's what I gave Venom.
Oh.
I literally don't understand how you come to these conclusions. Okay, that
black metal guys, we don't.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So that brings us overall at a 27, which is actually that is, other than Metallica and the Death album Sound of Perseverance, this is the third best rating we've given an album so far on this list. So
how about that? So Adrian,
I was gonna say, just so you know, if you remove Future World, I would have given this album a 32.
Okay.
I mean, that's still a bad score. Adrian, so what is it? What is it about power metal that you don't like? Like, why do you think you're drawn to this versus not liking somebody else, like a Blind Guardian or something else like that?
Okay, well, just for example, sorry, Dave, I got to throw you under the bus big time here. The other day, he sent me he sent me a band. He's like, "Hey, man, I can't put this down. I can't stop listening." I think the band was called Starlight Sonata or something like that.
No, he sent you that Fellowship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, what was that?
That's the album he sent you. That's
not
an acquired taste.
Okay. So push play. The first fucking second we come is metal, right? But we're coming in with xylophone or marimba, whatever the fuck that is. So automatically, I'm like, after I realized my senses were being assaulted, I push pause and I'm like, okay, let's get to the where they're not dicking around and actually playing music. I fucking skip about a minute in and push play again. And unfortunately, it was even worse because the singer was doing his thing where he was like singing, I think. So my senses were even more assaulted, and I turned it off, and I probably listened to about 5 seconds total of it, and sent him a gif of just cheese being grated. So that's pretty much the best way I can explain to you what the difference is. There's no fucking cheese in this, except maybe Future World a little bit. There's no fucking xylophone. There's none of that fucking bullshit.
You do have like a children's little thing on the first song. That that's on the first song, right? Or is it something similar to that?
I don't know.
You mean like the opening track, before I'm Alive?
Yeah.
What do you mean on I'm Alive?
No, I think it's the opening. It's the little thing before I'm Alive.
So that's one thing about the album that I, it's whatever, right? But I'm gonna skip that every time. Same thing with
and I'm usually there with you on that deal. But this one, I feel like this one actually improves the intro to I'm Alive. Like, I feel like it's better going in with that than just going in dry on I'm Alive.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I dig the immersion of power metal, and I think it's also because power metal is just so different from all the other metal that I listen to. I typically listen to a decent amount of like melodic death metal and heavy thrash metal and stuff like that, and all of that music is very serious, very like depressing. And power metal is just like one of its traits is generally it's pretty uplifting, right? Or
it's whimsical.
Yeah, it's kind of light in terms of its.
It's serious.
No,
that's not what I listen to metal for. So I don't get like the. I guess it doesn't evoke that emotion from me that it evokes from you, because that's not what I listen to music for at all.
There you go, Adrian. Tell this fool.
I just listen to music to enjoy myself. Like, I don't know. I don't really. It's not that deep, but.
I just metal. I should say not all music, right? But metal.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know. Sometimes I want to eat Taco Bell. Sometimes I want to eat Whataburger. You know what I'm saying? So I like variety in that sense. So anyway, just kind of point of order, capping off this record in terms of the score. That puts us at a B tier, almost an A tier, but it's Jason's fault. Does this belong on the list? Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. And will you listen to more? Yes. Adrian?
Yeah.
Well, it's in the next 5 albums, so we have to listen to more.
That's true. I guess mean voluntarily.
Yeah.
Jason?
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't Halloween is actually pretty damn good.
Okay.
I mean, I like a lot of what they put out.
There you go. What were you saying, Adrian?
No, this next one is supposed to be Superior, and I'm actually really excited. So, hell yeah.
So the album that we're talking about right now, Dave referenced earlier, that Half Hour Power, we're doing the top 30 power metal albums of all time. So Keeper of the Seven Keys is actually rated as the 4th best power metal album of all time. And then Part 2 is actually the number 1.
Is the number 1 power metal album of all time. According to the list we compiled.
According to the list
Did they come out,
one after the other.
This one in 87 and then the other one in 88. So it's kind of like a load reload, if you want to compare.
So I guess top songs.
Jason, give us your top 3 songs. So we're giving these in order, goddammit, from 3 to 1.
3 to 1. Number 3 would be Tale That Wasn't Right.
It's a good one.
Number 2 is it Initiation? Is that the first song? I mean, it's really just an instrumental, though, right?
Are you talking about like the actual interlude first song?
Yeah, just the sound of it. As far as I give that a rating as well, but I also like Twilight of the Gods. But number 1 song is I'm Alive.
Damn, Jason, that's the one that I was saying that I just like skip every time.
Yeah.
I legit don't even know how that shit goes.
Oh, the Initiation?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
got. I mean, look, it's a good atmosphere thing, but
Yeah, it's hard to grade where it's kind of like an instrumental where it's just I don't want to say
so,
it's filler, but
so you don't grade those because they're nothing.
I try not to, but if it's a couple minutes long.
I mean, it's like a minute and a half. Dave, go.
Okay, so I cheated. I have like four. It's four songs because I couldn't decide. I mean, realistically, I like the whole album, but Twilight of the Gods is like my number four, but closely ahead of that. And look, say what you want. I have a little time. I really like that song. It's a little cheesy, but I like it.
A little time.
Yeah, to give up on us a little time. Okay,
That song is shit.
it's so good. It's so good. Number two, I'm Alive. I'm Alive
Look,
is
a little time is going to show up again on this list. Don't worry.
I'm Alive. I mean, what an opener. As far as a real song, what an opener on an album. And then number one is Halloween. It's 100% Halloween. Yeah, dude, that song has everything. It's so good. Like 13 minutes of greatness. Anyway, go ahead.
For me, is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so Halloween number 3. I do think it's a little bit of a slog, little bit, but what it is building to and what it gets to is it's worth the fucking wait. It really is. It's a worthy 13-minute song. Number 2 is A Little Time, good fucking jam, and number 1 is I'm Alive. Fucking love that song.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there you go, Gomez. We're close. Number 3 for me is I'm Alive. Number 2 is A Little Time, and number 1 is Halloween.
Yeah, me and Josh had the exact same 3, just a slightly different order.
So,
That's
nice.
good. Yeah,
All right.
overall, I love that record. I'm excited for part 2. I've only heard like a couple songs from it, and it was good.
The couple songs I've heard so far are strong.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a better score right off the top.
So we found
right.
out that the last
go ahead.
song of this one, it bleeds into the first track.
Yeah.
So,
Also, I would tell you, if you let that run into the first track of this next album, it works really well.
Dude, Eagle Fly or whatever. That song is good.
What are you talking about?
On part 2, Keeper part 2.
Oh, no. I mean, if you let that mix into this next album here.
Okay, go ahead.
Because the next album on this list, if you're listening to it on the actual top 50 list that we put together, the number 39 album is by a little band called Mastodon. Name of the album is Leviathan. So, Mastodon, formed in 2000, is an American heavy metal band from Atlanta, Georgia. Fun fact: this is actually our newest formed band, and the most recent album on the list as well. They've released 8 studio albums, including their latest release, Hushed and Grim, which released in 2021. They've been nominated for 6 Grammys, and they've won once. Leviathan, released in 2004, it's their second album. The album peaked at 139 on the Billboard charts. It's a concept album based on the novel Moby Dick by Herman Melville. 3 magazines awarded this their Album of the Year in 2004, Revolver, Kerrang, and Terrorizer. Metal Sucks has also named this the best metal album of the 21st century. The album actually produced 4 singles. Iron Tusk, Blood and Thunder, I Am Ahab, and Sea Beast.
interesting.
Yeah, so look, I'll go first here on the Shinometer. I owned this record back when it came out. I had a couple of Mastodon records. I had this one. I had their first album with the March of the Fire Ants on it. And then I had the one that came after this. I think it was Colony of Birchmen. I don't know. I was in a little Mastodon phase at the time. They had some good songs, but in whole, the albums weren't always so good. So I was kind of interested to go back and revisit this record. I enjoyed it. This actually ended up being a little bit better than I thought it was going to be. I guess maybe the score may not reflect like a super good score, but I give it a 39.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Jason, you want to go?
Yeah, I actually really like this album. The content, as far as what it's pertaining to, is a little, it's a little out there. You just got to accept it because that's what they're giving you. So you just deal with that. I wouldn't say that Mastodon is writing these songs that are great to sing to, but I do like the tone. I do like the a lot of the riffs. I like the voice of the singer. I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I would, and for me, I gave it a 33.
Adrian?
I gave this a 47. I feel like I liked this album a lot more when I was younger. But I agree with Josh. There are some good songs on it, but as just an album, I don't know. I feel like as a musician, I'm supposed to like this album, but I just don't.
That's kind of like I feel like about this band is it's kind of like Rush and some of those other ones out there. I'm not shitting on Rush by any means, but those are bands that like if you're a musician, you're supposed to like what they do.
Yeah.
Because especially this band and future albums, it gets a lot more proggy, a lot more technical.
Yeah. I'm kind of right there along with Josh. Like in high school, like I had Mastodon's first record until Adrian stole it.
Damn.
And like legitimately, I think I don't know if you still have it, but you definitely had it from me and never gave it back.
Next to that,
Bro, I lost like 2 houses since then. Give me a break.
I'm just playing. But
No, it's not.
no, but I did kind of go through a little Mastodon phase as well, and I thought I would like this album a lot more than I did. And quite frankly, I don't get the hype. I don't at all. I have this at a 45. It's not an unlistenable record by any stretch, but yeah, I mean,
worried about it.
Like
I back to it.
This kind of affected me the same way that At the Gates did, where it's like after halfway through the record, I was kind of done with it. So yeah, 45. That gives us an overall score of a 41. That's a C grade.
Did this album sound like a recorded, with the exception of like the songs that were like they're singles, right? The rest of the album it kind of sounds like just like a recorded jam session. I don't know. It's like
I don't think I get that.
It's like it's almost like jazz mixed with metal, and it kind of feel like the structure of the songs have no rhyme or reason, and they just want to fit as many riffs into a song as they possibly can.
Like, as a drummer, I should love this,
I feel
but
that sometimes.
Yeah,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, like as a drummer, I feel like I should love this record because the drummer is like going off the whole time, but it's like dudes, just stop. Like stop, because you're not helping the songs.
Yeah, he's not.
So Jason, you gave this the best score out of the four of us here. What was it about this? Because I feel like this is, I don't know, maybe outside of Justice, this might be your highest rating you've given. Can you see that, Dave?
I mean, yeah, it is his highest rating on this list. Yes, for sure.
For me, it's a slower pace. It's not word vomit. The only issue that I have is the content, because it's a themed record. But I found, for me, I had heard of Mastodon, but I've never listened to Mastodon, so I had no idea what to expect. And I like I said, I found myself enjoying a lot of the riffs. I like the pacing of the songs; they're not too fast, not too slow. Some parts are a bit here, a little bit there. There's songs that, for me, there's a few of these songs that feel kind of grungy, as far as like a grunge metal, and then there's a little bit different kind. I don't know. It's, for me, unlike what you guys were saying, like as far as Dave, as far as it started to sound the same, or he just was kind of done after the first half of it. To me, I felt like I was hearing different styles of music in there. So I don't know. For me, like I said, I can't explain exactly why I like it, but it's a little bit slower pace.
Yeah.
I like the riffs, and I do wish that the choruses were a little more catchy to sing to.
Yeah,
That's
definitely not what they're going for.
Yeah,
correct.
This is one of those albums, and I don't know if you guys feel this way. This is one of those albums where I feel like if you just have it on the background, outside of the specifics, like single type songs, you won't even know where you're at. Like you'll have no idea what song you're on. I mean, unless you like really enjoy the record, obviously. But like, I just feel like I feel like anytime I had this record on, if I wasn't actively paying attention to it, like it was just like the same shit over and over again.
So top 3 songs here. So Jason, just to kind of reference, I'll go first. I apologize, Jason, to reference something you mentioned earlier about like different styles of music and the same piece of music, right? My third song is Megalodon. They have this cool little like a little country little breakdown in it for a second. Goes into this little clean guitar, and then it goes into this real dig it, little thrashy part. So I don't know, that song always jumped out at me. I thought that was fun. Iron Tusk, just kind of a cool like sludgy Black Sabbath-y style riff to start, and then this. I feel like this should be number 1 across every list here, but Blood and Thunder.
Yeah, Josh, I'll make it easy. I have my top 3 are exactly those in that order.
Did you just say that so you didn't have to come up with your own list?
I literally can copy. I literally can screenshot this to you.
My list is just same songs, just different order. Iron Tusk number 3, Megalodon number 2, and Blood and Thunder number 1. That opening riff's one of my favorite riffs of all time. And
the opening riff, and then the opening vocal. I think that someone is trying to kill me.
So when I started a guild in an MMO, like I don't know, fucking 15 years
Aeon?
ago, I named the Blood and Thunder. So yeah. Anyway, good song. Not so good album though.
Jason,
All right, Jason,
So
what you got?
my third song is Sea Beast. My second song is actually a tie between I Am Ahab and Blood and Thunder, and my favorite song actually is Naked Burn, the 7th song. There's 2 songs on here, and I meant to write it down. It might be Sea Beast. I don't remember exactly, but on Naked Burn, it's one song that feels like it needs to have a better singer, and I just feel like if you had Ozzy sing that song, not current Ozzy, but older Ozzy singing that song, I would love to hear him sing that song.
So, hey, Jason, this before Josh eats your soul, like legitimately, Jason, you might want to check out which record is it from them? I've actually heard this record, and it's pretty good. Emperor of Sand. It's their 2017 release. Because their drummer like sings a lot of their songs. He probably sings like on an earlier record, but I know on that record specifically, there's a lot of like good singing. So you might want to check that one out if you have are interested in Mastodon. Emperor of Sand is pretty good. Emperor of Sand, that sounds like it might be like Anakin Skywalker. He's the Emperor of Sand.
He probably hated that album.
Song on there called "Show Yourself" that's really good.
Yeah, Show Yourself. Yeah. No, but that album, you might like that, Jason.
All right.
So let me ask the questions here, Josh, before you move on.
Sorry.
So, does this belong? I'm gonna say no.
I'm coming in with the.
I'm going to say yes.
I would say no. I think there's more. I mean, the fact there's not a Machine Head record on this list, like The Blackening or Into the Locust, and this is on here.
Makes me want to vomit. Adrian, will you listen to more?
No, probably not.
Josh?
I'm going to go back and pick off a few choice songs because I'm thinking about Colony of Birchmen here and some of the songs on there that were pretty good. So,
I'm going to say no. Unless something, I'm going to say no. Jason? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Josh. Sorry. There you go.
moving on to the 38th album here. So this is going to be Jason's favorite of the night, King Diamond.
Absolutely.
Name of the album is Abigail. So Kim Peterson, a.k.a. King Diamond, is a metal singer from Denmark. He's known for his powerful and wide-ranging voice, in particular his falsetto screams. He's the lead vocalist and lyricist for both Merciful Fate and King Diamond.
Merciful Fate also on the list.
Jason. Yeah, good news. We got 2 albums from Merciful Fate coming up. King Diamond, the band, was formed in 1985. King Diamond has released 12 studio albums, including Give Me Your Soul, Please, released in 2007. Abigail, released in 1987, is the band's second album. It's a concept album about a young couple named Miriam Nadius and Jonathan LaFay, who move into an old mansion that LaFay inherited in 1845. Upon their arrival, they are warned by 7 horsemen not to move into the house. They do anyway, and boom, here's that album.
I wish I'd have known that before I listened to the album.
The guitar virtuoso that does the dirty work on this record also is on a Death record.
Oh.
No shit.
Yeah, Andy LaRock. He's on Individual Thought Patterns.
Oh, man. Okay.
There you go. So.
Whoa.
All right. Adrian, go first here.
Okay,
Shadowmeter.
Oh, Shadowmeter scores. I gave it a 30. And I just have to say my first note that I have wrote down is I am so impressed by the guitar solos. So I'm just a Death guy through and through. That just makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. I also really, really enjoyed this record. This was another record that kind of got better over time with each listen. And I feel like part of that is adjusting to King Diamond's vocals. But, I was already somewhat familiar with that, so it didn't take much. But I came in at a 22. I really, really enjoyed this record.
Damn.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
You can adjust.
You're going to give the worst score, so I'm going to let you have your stage here to give the worst score. I also enjoyed the record very much. It's just, it's funny. It's albums like this that make me look at the other albums on this list that have shitty production and think, why? Why is that a thing? Like, this album's made in 1987. It can't be made with like a huge budget.
Sounds good.
But man, the sound of this record is very good. I give this a 33. I thought it was a good record.
Production's fucking great.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. I agree. And if it wasn't for the vocals, like, I would probably have this, much lower. I just this is the nails on the chalkboard for me. Like, I just can't deal with this the falsetto or the stuck pig squealing in its death throes. I don't remember. I gave it a 54.
Ooh. Wow, that is harsh.
I apologize.
In your defense, I am not a big fan of the vocals. I think it's the worst part of the whole song, of the whole album. Good thing the music was fucking phenomenal.
I think the vocals are part of the charm, but I will freely admit it is something that it is an acquired taste. That gives us a 34.75, even with Jason's 54. So that's still a B tier score. So still respectable.
I will agree with all of you. The production is fantastic. The instrumentation of it all, I didn't have any problem with any of that.
Yeah,
I tried my best. I tried my best to give as much merit as I could for not listening to the lyrics.
Yeah, so I've been vaguely familiar with King Diamond over the years, so I knew what to expect from a vocal standpoint. I've heard some other songs. Did we all go to that Ozfest in Dallas and see Metallica and Ozzy?
Adrian did not.
I was there.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah, Adrian went.
Okay.
My birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jason, you went, right?
No, I went to the one in San Antonio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because remember Gomez, y'all walked to the damn store like at or whatever.
Yes.
It was Craig who went.
Yes, that's who I remember. Shout out Craig.
Yeah. Well, so just fun story here. So in 2008, there was like a single one-off Ozfest, and it was Ozzy, and then it was Metallica headlining the Ozfest, and they unveiled one of the greatest songs in the history of time that night, Cyanide, and they also played the entire Merciful Fate medley that night with King Diamond on stage.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that he almost didn't make the show. Like, he barely made it.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember wanting to leave so fucking bad too.
But anyway, that was so. We've at least 3 of the 4 of us have actually seen King Diamond partially live, so that's cool. I don't know, man. I like the album. I thought this is the type of metal that I really like. Just that era of metal that's kind of it's It's not super technical yet. It sounds really good. The riffs are all like the first time you've ever heard this kind of riff before.
And the solos, man, are super good.
Yeah. I don't know. This album is just, even the vocals over time, it just kind of, it's like System of a Down for me. Like, look, the first time I heard System, I was like, God damn, dude, these vocals suck. This is terrible. And then over time, it just kind of blends in with the rest of David as you put the charm of the music.
Yeah,
I think it's the same thing for this. I think over time, it just becomes part of the song, and you don't hear it anymore as that such a shock anymore.
Yeah, I think the music on this record is like some of the best musicianship we've heard thus far. Like, just not necessarily like in technicality, but just like in terms of like how it makes you feel. Like, I don't know, the riffs, the riff, the bass player, the drumming is all really, really good. The instrumentation, and like I said, I appreciate the kind of comical evil of the record, right? Like, this is the shit that people will probably listen to and their parents would be like, my son is a Satan worshiper.
Yeah, for sure. So Jason, I know you're only going to give this, you're only going to have a list of one song here. So go ahead and give us your top song.
I'll give you my top three. Like, I have some that, didn't get, a non-recommend. So number 3, Family Ghost. Number 2, The Mansion in the Darkness. But the highlight of the album, a song that I actually do like, and the vocals accentuate the song, and it's fully acceptable. Like, it doesn't even bother me, and that's Arrival, the second song.
All right.
Adrian?
I'll go second.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, for me, I do have Arrival on my list. Great song. I actually have it in the 3 slot. For number 2, I'm going with the title track, Abigail. Great song. Good riffs in that one. For me, though, I think by far the best song in this album is the last song on the album, Black Horseman. Fucking great song, man. Good intro. I love the riff. Dude, awesome song.
I'll go next because it's funny. My number 3 song is Black Horseman. A great song. My number 2 is Abigail, and my number 1 is Arrival. So, yeah, it's those songs are very good.
So for me,
what everybody says.
I got Black Horseman at number 3, Possession at number 2, and Arrival at number 1.
You fucked it up, Adrian.
Well, I mean, I actually wrote them down. I'm not just copying you, Josh.
Fuck you! Look, I'm gonna kill y'all.
Possession is a good song, though. I like Possession.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So, does this belong on the list?
Yes.
So I had to think about this for a bit, but I'm just gonna go with yes.
Okay. I also go with yes. I just think the uniqueness of it.
It epitomizes the era of heavy metal that I didn't like. So obviously, this belongs on the list.
Okay. I mean, Jason, I'm going to pencil you in for a no on this question, but the other 2 guys, will you listen to more King Diamond?
Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say yes. I'm actually excited too. All right.
Right.
Let's hit it.
So this next one's pretty. This is a pretty popular album.
Controversial.
Yeah. So we have we got the band Motorhead with the album Ace of Spades. All right. So Motorhead, formed in 1975, are from England. Lemmy Kilmister was the primary songwriter and the band's only constant member. I've heard people say Kilmister, Killmeister. Look, I heard James Hetfield say Kilmister, and he doesn't do anything wrong, so I'm going with it. They are often considered a precursor to the new wave of British heavy metal. Motorhead released 22 studio albums, including their latest release, Bad Magic, released in 2015. They were nominated 4 times for a Grammy and won once. As of 2016, they've sold 15 million albums worldwide. Sadly, Lemmy passed away in December of 2015 due to congestive heart failure. Ace of Spades, released in 1980, was the band's 4th studio album. It's the band's most commercially successful album, peaking at number 4 on the UK album charts. The album is considered to be one of the best metal albums ever. It does feature one single, shocker, The Ace of Spades.
That's hey, they at least they picked the best song.
All right, I think I'm gonna have the worst rating. I'll go first just to change it up. That way y'all can praise the record. So I didn't love this record. I don't hate it. This is one of those records that you can throw on in the background and to be totally fine, and it's listenable. I gave it a 40. It's right there at a 40.
That's not bad. I'll go ahead and pop in. I gave it a 35. I think there are some jams on this record for sure. But then you got shit like "Love Me Like a Reptile" and "Jailbait."
Hey, now calm down.
It's just not good stuff.
Love me like a reptile.
Yeah, it's just not good stuff, man. But I was actually shocked at how much I actually really did like this while I was jamming. There's
Wanna shoot you in the back.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where James got the "Shoot Me Again, I Ain't Dead Yet." That awful song.
Y'all hear "Load" in this album? Because I feel like I hear "Load" and "Reload" a lot.
Dude, they love Motorhead. They cover a bunch of Motorhead songs on Garage.
Okay, right on.
I wouldn't know. I don't listen to them.
I think this is. I don't think this is Lars' favorite band, but it's probably a top 10 favorite band for him. I think.
Okay, right on. Yeah.
Jason, what's your shitometer?
Okay, so I knew of Motorhead. I've known of the song "Ace of Spades" forever. It seems like great song. Absolutely going into my rotation in my favorites list. The problem with this album, though, is that there's 12 songs on it, and the further you get, pretty much the worse it gets. This is full of skippers.
Get out of here.
It is. Now, like I said, I wish I liked this album more. I was ultimately disappointed because once you get past the first three songs, in my opinion, it's just a whole bunch of skippers. I got a 48.
Oh, never mind. I thought I was going to be the worst. I was wrong.
Hold on. Let me go back and see the first three songs. You're so wrong. Anyway, look. This album, dude, it's a fucking vibe, dude. This, I can smell the cigarettes, I can smell the whiskey when I'm listening to this record. Look, it's not great. I'm just cut to the chase here. I'm giving it a 40 as well. It's not a great record, but the songs don't overstay their welcome. The album just feels good. You can put the whole thing on in the background and just fucking jam it out. And none of the songs fucking drag or anything.
I agree with you.
I think it's a good album.
Yeah,
I agree with you with a lot of what you're saying. They stick to a 3 to 4 minute song. They get right into the song.
It's 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's not hard to get
are all pretty decent jams. It's just some of these songs for me are just not good.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately for me, it's one of those things where if I wasn't paying attention to the album, it was better. Like this is an album where you just throw it on your stereo and you have friends over and you just get drunk while it's playing in the background.
I was gonna say, I can picture myself popping this on, having some beers, and fucking shooting motherfuckers on Xbox.
Oh, I was like, golly, this is you just never mind. So
buggers as they walk across the street.
Yeah, pure joke. So that gives us an overall of a 40.75. Another C tier record, a slight just beating Leviathan.
Which it should.
It should beat Leviathan. Yeah.
Do you think this album? To me, this album gets the praise it gets solely off the strength of Ace of Spades.
Yes.
I don't even have that in my highlights. I'm so sick of that fucking song. If I'm being honest with y'all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sick of it, but I acknowledge it's. I can't unacknowledge it because I'm sick of it. That's my opinion. To me, I think this gets all the praise because of its influence, not so much the quality of its content. I think if this exact same album would have been released 10 years after it released, this wouldn't even have been on the list.
You don't think so? Even with just the the mass popularity of Ace of Spades. I mean, I feel like Ace of Spades is one of those songs that more people would know it than you think.
Well, so check this out.
Like today.
When Lemmy died in 2015, it was like in December, right?
Yeah.
For New Year's Eve, we went to go see a Tejano band, and they fucking played a Tejano cover of fucking Ace of Spades that night.
Nice.
I mean,
so, you know.
I mean, look, Ace of Spades is their Inner Sandman, right? Like it's my problem is it's like it is. I do agree with Jason in the sense that I think it is head and shoulders the best song on the record, and I'm not even sure it's close. Like if I was hearing all of these songs for the first time, and Ace of Spades was the first, like if I was hearing it for the first, like it's like. Damn, why didn't they write like 11 other songs like this?
I think they have some like it, man.
I mean, they do. They do. They have a few, but like, you know, I don't know. I guess I'm ultimately not a big Motorhead fan.
Dave, give us your top 3.
Let me pull it up real quick. So I have Live to Win, number 3. I have We Are the Road Crew. We Are the Road Crew. And then Ace of Spades, like well above that, but I do like We Are the Road Crew. I think that's a solid song.
All right, I'll pop in here. We Are the Road Crew. I have that at 3. I have Fire at 2, and I have Shoot You in the Back as 1.
I had that Shoot You in the Back as my number 4.
There you go. I have same Dave. I had Shoot You in the Back, just missing the list. I got We Are the Road Crew number 3. I got Fast and Loose.
Fast and Loose. Yep.
And I just, I had to honor Ace of Spades as number 1.
They're catchy, Dave. They're catchy songs, right? You know,
they are.
And that so as far as my top 3, so I have a tie at 2. So my third place is Live to Win. When I first listened to Love Me Like a Reptile, I hated it. The more I listened to it, the more I stopped listening to the words and to what Josh is saying. It's a vibe. I end up liking the song. So Love You Like a Reptile and Shoot You in the Back were my tied for number 2, and Ace of Spades is number 1.
There's a vibe to that main riff of Love Me Like a Reptile, but I don't know.
It's just the lyrics are just stupid.
Yeah, speaking of stupid lyrics, there's a song called Jailbait. But anyway, yeah.
We'll just
we'll leave that one alone for the algorithm. For the algorithm, Like, look, my 40. This is not an unpleasant album to listen to. I guess I just want to make that clear. Like, it is not the next record on this list. Like this this album is like. I unironically, I would probably jam this record again because it is something you can just throw on. Like, I'll probably put this on one of my playlists and just. Like, if a song comes on, like, yeah, totally fine.
Dave, hit the questions.
Oh, sorry. Does this belong on the list?
I think based on the strength of Ace of Spades, the song, I say yes.
I say yes for the influential. What'd you say, Jason?
I agree with Josh.
Yeah. Adrian, you said yes, right?
Yep.
Okay. Will you listen to more? It's a no for me.
No.
I'm going to keep jamming Triple H's intro till the end of time, but other than that...
I'm going to mark that as a no.
I'm going to say yes because I'm just curious. I don't hate Lemmy's voice, and for the most part, like I said, there's a groove to their music. It's just these songs did not do it for me, so I'm curious to see if there are a couple of other songs that I might like.
All right.
Fair enough.
All right, on to Sad Wings of Adrian. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. So, last album of the night here, the 36th album on the list. This is by a band called Judas Priest. Name of the album is Sad Wings of Destiny. So, Judas Priest, formed in 1969, are from Birmingham. They are frequently referred to as one of the best metal bands of all time. Halford's operatic vocal style and the twin guitar sound of Downing and Tipton have been a major influence on heavy metal bands everywhere. The band has released 18 studio albums, including their latest release, Firepower, released in 2018. They have been nominated for 5 Grammys, won once. most recently in 2022 nominated into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they've sold over 50 million records worldwide.
That's a fair step up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good resume. Sad Wings of Destiny, released in 1976, is the band's second album. Noted for its riff-driven sound and the wide range of Halford vocals, the album displays a wide variety of styles, moods, and textures inspired by an array of groups such as Queen, Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, and Black Sabbath. The album produced 2 singles, The Ripper and Deceiver. I'll go first. I was looking forward to Judas Priest. I think when Dave sent this list out a while back, I would just randomize the list occasionally here and there, just pop into the list, and some Judas Priest would come up. I was like, oh, fuck yeah, here we go, okay. So, I think maybe I went into this a little high on what I was hoping to get. This album is not good. There are pieces of it that are borderline unlistenable. There's other things that are fine, but this is just not the album that I was expecting. I gave it a 65.
Damn.
Oof, man.
I'll go next.
Yeah. All right.
So I had never listened to a Judas Priest album start to finish. I had vaguely heard songs from here and there, so I did not know what to expect. I kind of had a preconceived notion that I probably didn't like them. And while that's not exactly wrong, I did find myself enjoying sections of songs, to my surprise, I guess. But unfortunately, it's still barely a recommend. I gave it a 49.
Adrian, you go ahead.
So for me, I asked my dad. He's a Judas Priest guy. Hey, what's your favorite Judas Priest album? So he name dropped one that's on our list later, or actually, it's
the very next.
On our list. And then he mentioned Sad Wings of Destiny. So I kind of had high hopes for this.
So he said that this was a good album.
He said it's their second best album. He said.
Funny, because I talked to another friend of mine that's a pretty big Judas Priest record, and he was like, "That's not really one of their best ones."
Okay, well, so my dad thinks like Painkiller. He thinks that at a certain point they get hokey. It's actually when they get heavier and like more progressive and shit that my dad would call that hokey, or even like Breaking the Law. That's them being hokey, right?
See, I've learned that I like that like more like late 80s, like mid to late 80s, and then Painkiller is 1990. Like that's the Priest that I actually enjoy.
So it is tripped out listening to my dad talk about these albums like the same way we talk about like Megadeth or Metallica, and it's like he'll like sing the chorus and just be like, "Oh man, it's so good." And same thing with like he'll like name drop the guitarist and be like, "Oh man," and yeah, it's just crazy. But anyway, so I was excited to listen to this album, and I listened to it, and I remember immediately texting you guys more like Sad Wings of Adrian or something.
Yeah.
Like that. I'm giving this a 55. It has one song that I think is really good, and the rest of it's just it's like a not as catchy, not as endearing Led Zeppelin to me. It's just
yeah. So I'll go last here since I'm the only one left. I did not enjoy this record. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. My score doesn't reflect how I feel, because I feel like my score reflects that I understand that this isn't like an absolute garbage tier record. It's just I got almost nothing out of it, and I hope I never cross paths with this record ever again. I gave it a 60. Like I said, don't think it's garbage, but there's like 2 songs off this record that I would actually consider to be like listenable, and the rest of it is just varying degrees of boring to what were they thinking?
Dude, the opening song being like almost 8 minutes of
being not good,
and just being a slow dragging, like, why are you opening your record with that? Like, why don't you open with a Ripper?
Right, exactly. No, like they were pulling some Anthrax shit. Anthrax is pulling it their way. Like, Why would you put an 8-minute song when every other song is like 4 minutes long? Why would you put that as your opener? And it's just this. It just drags. It's the longest fucking 8 minutes of your life, man.
I hate it. That's my favorite song.
Oh
Damn.
my god.
So real quick.
Okay.
Let me point of order
I
real
agree.
quick.
You wouldn't, it's like if you were building a set list, that's not what you would open with. But they
Stop
did.
it, Cat.
Exactly.
So that gives us a 57.25 as an overall score. So worst album of the set, and it's a D tier.
That is Venom.
It is D tier. No, it wasn't even close to Venom. Venom was at 82. Grow up.
I didn't catch the score, Dave. What was it?
57.25 D tier for dumpster.
Oh man. I mean, look, there's good moments. I did feel like in doing some research on it and like in hearing them reference Black Sabbath a little bit on there as being like an influence, like you can hear it in certain points, but it's just funny is like they just don't do Black Sabbath as good as Black Sabbath does it, right?
I hear more Led Zeppelin in this, personally.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just the overall feel of this album is not what I was expecting based off of other Priests that I heard. And so I think I was more shocked on the initial run. So I was like, maybe I'll like it better on the second run now that I've had a chance to hear it. Man, it's rough, dude. And that song Epitaph, I mean, if there's a list of like the 100 worst metal songs of all time, like 100 worst songs made by a metal band, it's on that list somewhere. I don't know exactly where it's at, but it's on it.
Yeah, that was my second worst.
What is this Beatles sounding ass bullshit? Yeah.
Man.
And I will tell you, I'm going to answer the question right now. It does not belong on this list. Like, not even in the slightest bit. I guess you want to do top songs, if that's even possible?
Yeah, I've got 3. I'll go first. I got 3. I've got Island of Domination. 2, I've got The Ripper. And number 1 for me is Deceiver.
Yeah, mine is easy. I got Dreamer, Deceiver at number 2. I don't have a number 3, and my number 1 is Deceiver. I like that Dreamer, Deceiver, and then Deceiver go like it's almost like one track essentially. The Ripper is a decent song, but like honestly, like I wouldn't. I'm skipping every song off this record. So
I only have The Ripper on mine. It's the only song I'd ever revisit, and I kind of feel like that main little guitar lead that's in it. I feel like some Castlevania music might have been inspired by that. But yeah, good shit. But only song I liked is The Ripper. Yep.
All right. Number 3, Deceiver. Number 2, The Ripper, which is still not better than our version of The Ripper. And I had Victim of Changes as my number 1 song.
I felt like the victim on this record.
Dude, it's funny that song gets a lot of love too out in the world. I was doing some research on it. Like that's a popular Judas Priest song. Yeah,
my dad loves that fucking song, dude.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, I don't feel so bad now.
Yeah, that's a popular song. Well, look, all in all, that was an interesting set of 5. Pretty eclectic. So this has been it's been a fun list so far. Coming up here, I don't know when we're doing the next one because we got a shitload of content coming our way here, but. We'll figure that out and go back and let you know. But for the next 5 records we have coming up here, we've got Judas Priest going back to back with the album Stained Class. Then we got Death making their return to the list with Symbolic. Halloween. Hey, man, this is like a whole list of like doubles here. Halloween coming in with Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 2. Second time we've seen Halloween on the list. And then we get a couple of newbies here. We got Pantera making their only entry in here with Vulgar Display of Power. And look, maybe this is a little bit of a surprise. You got Alice in Chains dropping in here with Dirt.
Can't wait to sing the shit out of that song. That album.
Another interesting set of 5.
Hey, real quick, because we went too fast. So, did that Sad Wings of Destiny? Anybody say that belonged on the record on the list?
Oh no, sorry.
Will you listen to more Priest? I mean, other than the fact that you're going to be listening to like 4 or 5 other Priest albums.
No.
Well, based off this album, I would say no, but yes.
Based off no.
Okay, yeah, I think that's fair. This record does not make you want to listen to more Priest, but you'll be forced to anyway, and maybe your mind will be changed.
Are there seriously 5 more Priest albums on this?
So I'll just go. Hey, we have the time, and no one cares. So Stained Class. Then we have. I have to go way up. Screaming for Vengeance. Then I have to British Steel. And then let's see.
Are you serious? We got to listen to 3 or 4
Painkiller.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. So 4 more.
Okay. Look, they might be good. I remember Painkiller being pretty fucking tasty. So,
Yeah, I'm still excited for what I've heard of other albums coming up. So I'm not being run off from Judas Priest just yet, but that was a surprise. I hope that one is the exception.
Correct.
Yep. All right, everybody.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time on a Metalhead's Journey. We'll let you know when that is. Okay. In the meantime, live long and prosper.
Take it easy, everybody.
Later.
See ya.